Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live from the Parrish Art Museum. This is Terrie Sultan. I'm the director of the Parrish Art Museum, and I'm broadcasting live to you from my office here in Watermill. It seems very strange to me to be here all by myself in this fabulous building, but now there are 37 of you on this webinar, and I'm so excited to try this for the first time and to be sharing this with you. We at the Parrish very much believe in the power of art to lift our spirits during these very difficult times of crisis, and we want to stay connected with you. So we're launching this weekly featuring live streaming, online chat, and pre-recorded segments. There's going to be something here for you on Friday nights, just like there was in the old days when you could actually come to the museum. So this is our first live streamed Friday nights live at the Parrish. And tonight we're going to show a pre-recorded 20-minute tour of the 2020 student exhibition that I will be guiding along with our Director of Education, Cara Conklin-Wingfield. This was an amazingly joyous occasion when the exhibition opened, and I'm sorry that you can't visit it at the museum now because it's very, very special. But you're going to have a chance to see it as a virtual walkthrough. And after the tour, Cara and I are going to talk about how the exhibition came about, how long this exhibition has been a tradition at the Parrish Art Museum. And she's especially going to talk about the students that were recognized by the juror. Then you'll be able to ask questions using the live Q&A session at the bottom of your screen. All of us are just learning this new technology, but you'll see it. It's two little windows that say Q&A. And as we're talking, you can type questions to us and we'll answer them for you. And after we're done, the video will be accessible on the website in the days after the program. Now, these things wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. And I cannot thank enough the people that have made the Parrish Friday Nights Live possible, and especially want to thank our presenting sponsor, Bank of America, and our additional support by the Corcoran Group and Steve and Sandy Pearlbinder. So I want you to relax. I don't even have to tell you to turn off your cell phones because you're not all in the room together, but you could if you want to, and just be part of this great night. So with that, we're going to launch our film, and then Cara and I will be back in about 20 minutes.
Hello, we're here at the Parrish Art Museum, and we'd like to give you a look at the 2020 student exhibition, so you can have the full experience from home. The director of the museum is going to join me in the galleries for a personal tour. So let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Terrie Sultan. I'm the director of the Parrish Art Museum, and with me is Cara Conklin-Wingfield, our education director. And we are standing in a gallery at the Parrish Art Museum looking at artwork from the annual student art exhibition here at the Parrish. Cara, this exhibition project has been going on for a really long time. Can you tell me a little bit about the history?
As far as we know, the exhibition is going on for at least 70 years. When the museum had its centennial in 1998, we did some research, and at that time determined that the exhibition started more than 50 years prior. So sometime in the 1940s it all started, and since coming to this building, we've held an annual exhibition, and it highlights school districts from the East End and beyond.
When we started 70 years ago, how many schools and how many students were involved, do you think?
I think about 10 or 12. We found some very early exhibition records, and they had a handful of art teachers that were involved at that time. It was really driven by art teachers and an art teachers association at the time.
And how many schools and how many students do we have now?
There are about 40 schools now, and we really can't even count the students because some are group projects that hundreds of students contributed to. So it's somewhere in the thousands. I think you could safely say at least 2,000.
So let's talk a little bit about Blue Whale here. This, I think, is a group project.
It is. It's a group project from the Rainer Country Day School. And for years they've been doing a project like this where every single student in the school contributes to one three-dimensional piece. And in this case, it touches on a bunch of themes in this part of the exhibition, which are nature, environmental concerns, and reusing materials, so using recycled materials.
When you start to talk about the teachers about the upcoming student exhibition, do you talk in general about themes that they can then guide their students, or is it just something that comes together when the work starts to come in?
We leave it up to the teachers. That's what we found they like the best, to have the freedom to address their curriculum or opportunities they might have to connect with artists or across disciplines. So we don't restrict them in any way as far as themes. We just have some size guidelines to make sure we can fit everything in.
Has anybody ever built anything that could not physically fit in the building?
Not yet, but some have some pretty ambitious ideas. We work really closely with the art teachers, and this teacher, for instance, started to talk to me in October to plan this out and make sure it would work, get in the building, and be able to be assembled.
And this one, which looks like a tortoise totem pole.
A totem pole, yes, it's actually a bunch of different animals. This is the front of it, over here. You can see the animals' faces. It's from Conklin East Elementary School. And this is an example of something that came together at the last moment because the teacher was able to create an artist in residence program with a community artist named Snow. So she worked with one grade level over a period of time and made this. And we try to be really flexible with teachers if they have ideas they want to execute quickly or opportunities. So this ended up switching out for another project she had because it was such a great way for them to contribute to the show.
And Snow actually worked with the Parrish before. She was one of our participating artists in an Artist Choose Artist project several years ago. And this is a room walkthrough with lots of different kinds of places to stop along the way, almost like it was a walk through a garden. What's going on here?
This is from the Hanger School, and they also find a way for every student in the school to participate in the project. They usually have some sort of structure and individual elements from the children. In this case, it is exactly what you mentioned. It's a contemplation of nature. So they spent the school year, really from the beginning of the school year up until now, looking at various aspects of nature, plant life, human life, animals, insects. So they're organized in different sections. Like you can find a penguin section over there. Here clearly are all of the areas expressive trees.
Okay.
They're trees. And they also have to do, as I said, with human life. So we have food, we have teapots, we have animals, we have fantastic elements, and almost every object is made out of clay. A few other materials used.
Now, in a group project like this, what happens at the end when the exhibition comes down? Does each student then get to keep the pieces that they made?
That's what I imagine will happen with this piece, since they are individual sculptures presented together. The totem, I'm not sure. That'll be up to the community in Cutchogue. There might be a place for it in the school lobby.
Now, I have a favorite piece in this exhibition, which I would like to talk about, or ask you about, I should say. I found this nothing short of wonderful. First of all, I would like to have them all. They look so comforting and joyful at the same time. And it's so beautifully presented. And then down here, I'm assuming that these are the tools that were used to make the pieces.
Those are the knitting needles, which the children also made. So the knitted kittens are made by first graders from Sag Harbor Elementary School. And the teacher there, Gary Osborne, set up group of parent volunteers who actually came in to teach the children how to knit so they could essentially learn one-on-one. And they made the knitting needles out of dowels, which they took out to the playground, rubbed on the ground until they got a pointed edge, rubbed on the blacktop, and then used sandpaper and wax to make their own knitting needles.
And they're actually labeled.
With each child's name.
Each child has their name on their knitting needles. And presumably they'll continue knitting when the show is over. And then here's another one, I assume from the same school?
It's from the same teacher, but this is from a homeschool group on the North Fork.
I mean, I know we're in an art museum and you're not supposed to touch the works
It's
of art.
hard not
but
to.
It's very hard not to want to pet a little dog.
Right, and squeeze the kittens, yeah. It's very hard.
What's your favorite room? A favorite piece in this room? What is your favorite piece in this room?
My favorite piece is over here. It's been looking at us since we came in the room, and I felt that way as soon as we opened it up. So these are owls from Bridgehampton School, and I love the expressiveness of the faces, the uniqueness of each piece. It's a great use of collage, but also painted paper collage. So the children first made their papers, made their colored papers, and then did torn paper collage. And the eyes, each of them just has its own personality. Love it. And it's another big theme in the exhibit. We have so many things with birds, something we could have a look at.
I noticed that. The minute you said it, I start to see over here you have songbirds as a theme. And then we have wings of birds with various feathers. And again, they didn't talk to each other to make this decision. It just kind of happened as universal synchrony.
They may be friends, but they're independent schools. And I think that these themes just came out. So this is from Sag Harbor. That's from Conklin Community School over on the North Fork. And in this case, each student in the school made a decorated feather that they put together into the wings. So we have some other bird pieces over here, some ceramic birds. This is from Southampton Montessori School. We are all birds of a feather on the tree of life. So teachers have really, really inventive ways to have individual students be able to see their contribution, but still present it as a group project, which is what this gallery contains. It contains group projects from elementary, middle, and high schools. I want to point something else over here about highlighting an individual contribution. This is from the children's school, which is in Southampton. It's a preschool, and they have images of the children actually making the same work that you see right next to it. And this was actually inspired by the permanent collection installation here at the Parrish Art Museum. So it's called This Is What We See, What Do You See? And it's based on looking at the things that are on view here at the museum.
Yes, the permanent collection installation that's up right now at the same time is called What We See, How We See. And it's very nice to see that the school actually took that as a jumping off point to make their work. It's great. What about this one? I think this is pretty great too, this hanging piece here. It looks like it's made out of recycled materials.
It is. It's all mostly bottle caps. Bottle caps, container caps, and then some spools and beads mixed in.
Wonderful.
These are color wheels made with collage, which I think is a great way for young students to learn about the color wheel and the relationships between colors by finding colors in different shades and filling in the secondary between the primary colors.
And how old would the students be that made that piece?
The students are grades 1 and 2, so they're like 6 and 7 years old.
That's pretty amazing, isn't it? That 6 and 7-year-old kids would have such very high level of creativity and understanding. Beautiful. special aspect of the student exhibition that has taken place, I think maybe over the last 3 or 4 years, is a part where we invite artists that have shown at the parish to work with a group of students to create community works that are outside of what the students are working on with their teachers, but then folds into that. This year, I think that you selected some artists that had been featured in the Artist Choose Artists exhibition that preceded this one. Can you talk a little bit about how that happened and how that worked?
Sure. We worked with 3 artists from Artist Choose Artists, and the children who are part of this part of the exhibition are actually in our ongoing school programs. So they're experiencing a curriculum connected with the museum, which connects either with their language arts or their social studies. So they see us regularly, they visit the museum regularly, and one part of that project is the Artist in Residence, where they come to the museum and work with an artist. In this case, the artists all had work on view in the fall, so the children were able to meet them, hear about their work, and then work together in the studio on projects related to themes in the artist's work.
And we have a wonderful video of that process that you can also access on the website.
Yes, the video, you'll hear directly from the artist, you'll see the children at work.
Well, I just want to ask, when we're working with all these thousands of students, I mean, we're going from the itty bitties all the way up through high school. And what I understand is that you do kind of separate them. In this room that we're in right now is a special gallery for the high school students, and that would be 9 through 12.
Exactly, and in this case, we're highlighting individual work because those students are starting to think of themselves as young artists. Some of the high schools also submit group projects. For the most part, we feature them in the large gallery. That's all group projects. So high schools are able to submit up to 15 individual pieces, and that's what you see on view right here. And 14 separate high schools are participating in this part of the exhibition.
And how many of these students go on to art school for college?
A small number, probably about overall, I would say 1 or 2 of each of the students, of each of the groups from each year. Over the years, we get to know the high school teachers well, and they let us know what their students are doing. So I'm just going off the top of my head from the schools we know most. Some students go into art education, others of them go to study visual art.
And because we do 9 through 12 in high school, I imagine that over the course of 4 years, you see the growth and development of certain students as they progress.
Some of the students, some of the really exceptional students you see appear year after year. The teachers do have to make a small selection of only 15 works and 1 work by student. So they tend to feature their really committed students, those who've taken art all the way through and are now juniors or seniors.
Another very important aspect of this student art exhibition is the fact that we actually do have a jury that a very wonderful man that you work with that selects his view of the highest quality works and gives out awards.
Yes, so seniors are eligible for awards in various media, and Professor Neill Slaughter, who for over 40 years was a painting instructor at Long Island University and other places. He comes in and really carefully reviews all the work by seniors and looks at everything and awards a handful of ones to watch. But he chooses seniors based on what he says is a real expressive quality in the work. He's looking at skill, but he's also looking for a kind of transcendence, something that brings you to another place when you look at the work. So, for example, on this wall, there's this very strong work from Belcourt. He singled out these 2 photographs and this drawing for awards for seniors.
He didn't pick my favorite piece of that group. This is my favorite one.
It's hard to choose.
It's hard to choose.
It's very hard to choose. In total, he chose, I believe it's 39. He's honoring 36 seniors. And then for the category that he calls ones to watch, he chose 13 others, which are the younger students that he really couldn't help noticing.
So for some of these young artists, the very first exhibition that will be on their resume and their professional resume will be that they participated in a group exhibition at the Parrish Art Museum. Okay. All right, so thank you, all of you who are still with us. But I think we're all set now. Cara and I are live, and we're going to talk a little bit about things. And Cara, I especially wanted to ask you about the juror who spends so much time looking at all these artworks and how he decides from all these wonderful pieces who to recognize, and how much time does it take him to do all that? And who is he? And what's his background?
So for the last several years, we've been working with Neill Slaughter, who's a professor emeritus from Southampton University, and he's also a painter. And he comes in and looks at the exhibition primarily to review the work by seniors. That's what we ask him to look at, understanding that the students have, younger students are just sort of starting on their careers as artists. And so he looks at all the work by seniors, and he, this year he spent 6 hours looking at the exhibition. The high school students, each school is able to submit 15 individual works. So they're picking students to represent their school. And he looks really closely at those and then makes selections in different categories. And this year he actually honored 55 students. 42 of them are seniors, and the other 13 are what he calls ones to watch. Those are works by younger students that he just can't help noticing them. And he's looking for more than technical skill when he looks at the work. He's really looking for something that moves him, which is what we know that great art does. Great art makes us kind of see the world differently, think differently about something. So when he recognizes that, it might come hand in hand with a high level of technical skill, or it might come with an emerging level of technical skill. But he's really looking for that. And to get a sense of what he was looking for and what he saw, he actually then writes up his thinking and comments about every work. And there's a 28-page document that he produced the day after he spent 6 hours looking at the exhibition. And we actually have posted that on the exhibition page. So if you go to parrishart.org, the home screen scrolls through the exhibitions, go to the student exhibition, and on that page, you'll be able to click and read that entire document, which is in Professor Slaughter's voice.
28 pages? That's amazing.
It's 28 pages long. He's amazingly thorough. And he really just takes such great care making these selections. And he's someone who spent his career teaching young artists at the college level. So he really understands about emerging artists.
You know, it's a special thing for me to be able to participate in this kind of project because, you know, in my career as a curator, I've always worked with people that are, you know, fairly far along in their careers. And in walking through that exhibition, one of the things that I noticed especially was there is universal synchrony, even with young artists that I noticed, like when I mentioned the one that you pointed and the things that were recycled materials. There's a British artist by the name of Tony Craig for working with those kinds of materials. And then there it was with a whole beautiful and very professional looking project that was done by really, you know, young budding artists. And it was very exciting to me. And I'm sure it must be for you too. And you've been doing this with the schools and the students for a really long time.
I have been doing it for a long time. It's been about 25 years since I've been involved in this exhibit in some way. And a lot of the teachers have been right there along with me. So we've kind of gone through our careers together. And it is really beautiful to see themes do come together each year. And this year, nature and the environment was a big theme in the group projects that we saw, but also in a lot of the individual pieces. And for the high school students, individual identity is always a really important theme. There's a lot of portraiture, a lot of really kind of expressive work, and that's beautiful to see. I'm sorry that everyone can't visit the exhibition, and I really miss it myself. One of the things about this exhibition is, I think I mentioned, there's probably a few thousand children represented, children and young adults represented, and over the course of the 4 to 6 weeks that it's up at the museum each year, you get to see everything and notice things over time. And I really, really miss that.
Yeah, and see, I'm so lucky because I'm here all by myself, so I can go in there and play all the time. You know, there's another aspect of this project that I also think is very special in that it followed right behind our Artists Choose Artists program. And of the participating 14 artists that were selected by the jurors, you selected 3 of them to do special projects with the students. And their work is on view. And those are collaborative projects that they did along with the artist. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, there were about 300 children who were part of that project, and they're with some of our partner schools, Tuckahoe and Southampton Intermediate School and Bridgehampton School, East Hampton School and Hampton Bays, all of which we have ongoing projects with. And those artists then work with the students as part of a unit of study that's a larger curriculum we do throughout the year. So the three artists were Scott Bluedorn, Bastian Schmidt, and Irina Alimestianu. And they each worked with different classes. There was a total of 16 classes. And each of them would share themes in their work. Like, for example, Scott Bluedorn is very interested in, through his artwork, encouraging people to envision the future world. And it was very much focused on issues like of environmental concern and climate change. And he asked the children to each imagine a future world for a different context. One was the city, one was the forest, and they made collaborative drawings and collages where they looked at how this might be, how we might live differently in the future. So that's just one example. And there's another video that features that project. If you're at home and you want to explore, on that same exhibition page I told you about where you could find Neill Slaughter's comments, right below is a video featuring those artists working with the children.
That's so much fun to see. And it's interesting if you think about Scott and the program that he put together for the kids to try to envision a different world that we're living in. And who would have thought that now we're living in a completely different world where we can't be on the stage together, but we're able to do this kind of thing. And it's so heartwarming to know that we can work with the students, we can help them realize their creativity, and that they can show at the parish. And any of them that go on to art school and become professional artists, they'll be able to put on their resume that their very first professional exhibition was a group show at the Parish Art Museum.
Yeah, and 55 of them can say they were honored in that show. So it's really special for the high school students. And I know you believe this, Terrie, and I believe that art is very important to human existence, and that it's something that humans have been doing even before they had language. They were making art in caves and making sculpture. And we have so many programs at the museum where we try to help people connect to their the sense of who they are through art. And I'm so hopeful that we'll restore those programs, but that in the meantime, we can connect with you this way.
Well, also, I know that you and your team in the education department at the parish are doing something special on our website. You're developing stay-at-home projects for people to do with their kids.
There are projects called, that's also right on the front page of the website. Each week, we're releasing some of the activities we regularly do with children based on our collection, either as part of the school programs through Southampton and Tuckahoe, or as part of the after-school art program that goes on at the museum. So we just have a wealth of activities that it's easy enough for us to write them up and share them with the community. So that's what we're doing right now. Each week, there are 3 two-part activities. We've already posted them for 2 weeks, and some more will be coming up Monday or Tuesday of next week.
That's really great. Now, there are 48 of you that are online with us, and I'm wondering if any of you have any questions for Cara or for me. You can type them in your chat or on your Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. And I am waiting for some questions, but in the meantime, Cara, in all of your many years of dealing with the students and putting this exhibition together, what has been your favorite one?
It's a really hard question to answer. I think the favorite right now, just because it's the most memorable, is Hayground School's elephant from last year. It was pretty extraordinary, and it really was a completely correct in its proportion. An elephant made out of paper and cardboard. It was really extraordinary.
What happened to it?
It's at the Hayground School, looking for an exact place to be for the future. I don't know if anyone from the Hayground schools online, they might be able to tell us. I see Lou asked how long students have to create their pieces. And that's really up to the art teachers. Some of them work on them beginning at the beginning of the school year. And a lot of the schools, it's challenging to have a lot of time to focus on artwork because of schedules, especially for the oldest students. So it may take quite a lot of time for them to make it. It really depends on the school and the schedule. But if I see another question about the older students' work, and we do have a video that we made that same day. We have video footage that we can work into something. I'm not sure it will be ready next week, but look for emails from us letting you know when that will be featured. But we definitely did do that, highlighting the high school students and pointing out all of the honorees.
Yeah, and we are getting on the chat that the elephant was at Hayground, but they had to move it for the camp and they're trying to find a new space for it. But you know, it is an elephant, and so it's not exactly something that that's easy to house, but it was quite fabulous. But the piece that they did this year was great too. You know, I've been the director here for 12 years, and I've had the opportunity to see it 12 times. And we'll get our technology down here, guys. But you know, it's kind of nice to have happy hands at home for the first try. And I know that you will all indulge us as we learn more how to do this. So, Cara, do you have anything else special that you want to say? I just saw that Brian says he's very proud to have Southampton High School students collaborate with the parish, and we're very proud to be part of that collaboration. We're so proud of our students, and Cara, I know that you have a lot of really good connections with these kids, and some of them you see year after year until they graduate and go.
Absolutely. I want to say something about that. Our students at Southampton, I'm so hopeful that next school year we'll have all our programs up and running again, because we connect with the children in pre-K, where they have a program with the museum on a really regular basis. Once a month, they're either coming to the museum or having a lesson. And then in 5th and 6th grade, really intensively. And then again in high school. And we love to see the children grow. We really believe that having a museum in their community contributes to their education. And we're so grateful for all the teachers and partners over there at Southampton. So thank you for saying that, Brian. And I see that Stu Wright was also on. I see a lot of our teachers were on. And Pam Collins, the art teacher from Southampton High School, is on too. Sorry for getting so excited. I saw a whole bunch of our participants, Heather Evans from East Hampton, and a bunch of others. I'm not gonna be able to mention everybody. Hi, Heather. She's saying hi on the chat.
Well, it's just like being at a party, right? Where
that's not
everybody
super professional, but we all miss each other, and it's exciting to see the questions and the comments come up.
It's not meant to be professional. It was really fun to make. You know, just walking around the galleries and talking about the work, which is not something that we get to do very often. Such a wonderful group of young artists, and Cara, congratulations to you and all of the teachers, and thank you all for participating in our first Friday Night Live launch. And I want to thank Victor and Jen and Corinne for putting this together for the first time. I mean, we're all kind of flying blind here. And we're really happy that you're with us on this journey. So tune in again next week for something. I'm not sure what it will be yet, but I can guarantee you that at 5 o'clock when you turn in, there'll be something fun for us to do together. And in the meantime, go to the website, have a look at the exhibition page that Cara set up, and enjoy everything that we can provide for you. And be safe and take care of yourselves, and everybody make a drawing.